feed dial, and this is the pressure foot dial to N, which I did. Okay, and I got my needles in position. So far I'm doing what the book says, you know, setting it up. All right, let me go a little further here. Okay, I'm going to adjust this now so that the upper loop is engaged. I'm going to move this to the left and down. See? Okay, and it locked. So now it's like a straight knee. All right. So now the upper loop is going to move. So I'm going to thread the upper looper. All right, let me finish my threading, and then I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, Vince Securi back. It took me a little while to figure out. I never did this particular stitch, so I tell you, it's a complicated piece of machinery. But if you understand, if somebody goes through it with you, it might make it a little bit more understandable. And the drawings themselves, whoever did the artwork, obviously was just reading off some kind of a menu. They actually probably didn't have the machine in front of them unless they were just given a drawing or something. I'm really not sure. Anyway, all right, here's what I did. This right now is set up for 5 threads. In a nutshell, these two, these two here go through the 2 needles. The one on the left is the yellow, and the first needle they say to thread is the back one, which is A, which is needle A. Which is this needle here, needle A. So I threaded that first, and I brought it through the little fingers over here. I brought it through one of these fingers that's more in line with the needle. The same thing, there's a little bar here, and actually, oh, my camera's dropping. And actually, you see where this bar is only one piece of metal? The bar below it is sort of bent, doubled metal. So when you're putting the thread in, you sort of angle the thread in like this, and then slide it in, and then bring it like this to align it with the hole. And then I put them behind this bar. This one I didn't do. All right, that's just a floating bar. And then the threads went down under the presser foot. Everything now is going towards the back. Now, that was the easy part, but that's the last thing you do. Now, they have you thread the upper looper first. They give you the color, the green, and the green happens to be this spool. That's the green, and I followed the little dots that they have. You start coming down this way. I go in. All right. Then it goes in this loop. Goes across to this loop. Then it comes up like this, and there's a little wire, a little twisted wire up there, and you loop the thread on the outside of this little point and bring it around, so basically it's dropping through. The end result is like that. That's the end result, as you see. Okay, now there is a hole here where the thread goes through. Now the instructions, they tell you that this little deal here, when there's thread, this is a white knob. This goes up and down. See? The purpose of it down is to cover the hole. But for this case, they want it up. Alright, so that's one of the steps. So now, in order to get the thread on the back, I'm going to move the... Alright, you see these, this here, and there's one here, little points with holes on the end. Everything's dropping. Got a hole here, a hole here. Okay. In the back of this sort of a hooked shape arm, in the back of it, there is a notch, just say like, something like the back of this scissor. There is a notch that the thread goes into that notch. Now, you can't reach it because it's back. It's back in here. But what they have, now I had a machine. I had a Serger before this. It was a Janome. Let's see if I could show you these things I'm talking about. Okay. You see, I'm going to put it in the center of the screen. All right. You see the thing I'm moving? You see the V-notch? V-notch. Right there? Okay. The thread has to go with your left hand. You put the thread behind the V-notch. And you're holding the thread in the left hand, and the right hand's holding this little thing up like this, and the left hand's holding the thread in that V-notch, and then you pull this all the way back. So I can't do it now. I had to move this out of the way, this little thing. You move this all the way back, and it's pulling the thread with it, and as you're holding it in your hand, and what it does is it lays the thread back on the back of that hook. And then when you let go of this little lever, the thread stays, believe it or not, stays on the back of this hook. Gets into that little notch. And then you pull it to the right, and it actually stays in that notch. And then you put it from front to back through the hole. And you could see the blue one here going front to back through the hole, and then I pulled it out the back of the machine. See, I'm gonna pull some of it now. You're gonna see, you see everything's moving, everything's pulling through, and all right, and then you do the lower loop the same way. You follow the colors going through. Yeah, you'll see a lower loop of red, and usually what I did was I put the red one through this hole here. And again, like I said, this is this piece of metal, so you angle the thread like this, slide it in, and then you pull it through the hole. The other one, the brown, the thread goes through that. That is for the chain stitch looper. And both of those loopers, the chain stitch and the lower looper, you have to use that little V-notch installer that I was showing you before. The upper looper does not require that method. So I just showed you in there the little V-notch. There's one here too. See that little V-notch? I'll put it right in the center. It's moving. And then the other one, I put it in the center of the screen. That V-notch. The thread goes in there, and then you pull it all the way back as far as it can go. And hopefully, if you have tension on with your left hand on that thread, it places it behind that sort of that hook thing with the eye in it. All right. Now, the next step, I got to see if it works, because it tells you in the book when you get all of that done. When you get all of that done, it shows you this. It shows you this here. See, and it says, "Try it. Place 2 pieces of home decorative fabric, right side together. Align the fabric so that the knife just slightly trims the fabric edge." All right, I'm gonna give it a shot. 2 pieces. And what do they say? Good side together? Right sides together. Okay, right side together. We know what that means. Okay. You're gonna be the first. Gonna be the first to see Vince screw up here. I'm gonna close this. I don't know. It'd be too good to be true if it works. There's a lot of gizmos there. A lot of little deals. Put this, put that. All right. Let me see, what could I use for fabric? Two right sides together. All right, I'm gonna get some fabric. I think I'll just get a